Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this comment somebody dropped on a comment, somebody's comment section saying that the people who were subject to slavery are dead. So in other words, there is no need to pay reparations. Now I am going to say this. Reparations, reparations are long overdue. When I say long overdue, very much long overdue. And I am surprised that till this very moment, we are still talking about reparations and how there is need for reparations to be paid, right? And for those that do not understand what reparations mean, it means to repair, to fix. And for those that think that there is nothing to fix, you all are part of the problem. And for those that also do not understand that reparations is just not only for slavery, because there were other things that happened in between slavery, right? All these are the things that there is need for them to fix up. I understand that some people are not intellectually smart enough to talk about slavery and reparations. If you are not, if you cannot hold that kind of conversation, it is also very good to withdraw back and let people that want to talk, right? Don't come out and make a mess of yourself. Now, let me get into this. Now, for those that are married to Black women or whichever way it is, if you find yourself with a Black partner, say enough of you coming out to use the N word. Nobody is giving you any pass. And even if they give you pass, do not use it. It's very disrespectful. Let's get into this video.
I've always said, folks, I've been saying it since 2015, white supremacy will be the destruction of America. And we're this close. We're literally this close to destroying our country because of the love of white supremacy. It's our biggest problem. It's our most neglected sin. That's why we have this psychomaniac, this egotistical, arrogant, narcissist, criminal clown this far from becoming a genuine dictatorship. The fool just said, I will take away voting. I will fix it so you don't have to vote again. He just openly said that. He is admitting he's going to be a dictatorship. He's admitting that he's going to destroy democracy. Project 25 has 900 pages there to destroy our democracy. And I thank God for Taraji Henson for saying that at the BET Awards. If she hadn't said Project 25 is not a game, where would we be? She brought attention to it. I'd been talking about it for months. But when she said that at the BET Awards, the whole world checked it out. And they saw what the motherfucker's plan is. And now he's openly admitting it. Trump does not have a chance against Harris. If nothing changes, Trump will lose. And I predicted every election correctly since George W. Bush, and you can check it out on Facebook. He will lose if nothing crazy happens. Harris will win. Thank God. But we're this close because of America's white people's love of white supremacy. That's why I say white supremacy, and I've been saying this since 2015, it is our biggest fucking problem. And it's literally, we're on the edge of destroying our rights and our democracy. Not having freedom of speech, not having freedom of press. Can you imagine living under that? Not having those basic human rights? And more, much more will happen if he gets elected. You can't vote. He just said, I'm going to fix it so you don't need to worry about voting, folks. These are freedoms that many of us take for granted that do matter. We are a democracy, and we have to fight like hell. And until we address white supremacy, our democracy, our ability to function, our ability to survive as a country will always be in jeopardy. Fix white supremacy, white people, and you may be able to have a fucking nation unless it's already too late. Joe Biden saved America. I'm not a Joe Biden fan because of the genocide of the Palestinian people. But I got to hand it to him for one thing. He literally saved our nation by having the honor enough to be selfless enough to step down and the critical thinking enough to say, hey, it's time to call it quits. She can win. I can't. That's the thing that Donald Trump has never, ever understood. He doesn't have the capacity to not want power, to not want to exploit. Trump doesn't give a fuck about Christianity. He doesn't even care about white supremacy. He's just using these things as a platform to get power. All he cares about is himself. He likes to be exalted. He's a fucking narcissist, a psychopath. He doesn't give a fuck about these Christians, and really I don't think they give a fuck about him. What Christians have always cared about, white Christians, power. That's what Christian nationalism is. Christian nationalism is nothing but veiled white supremacy. What is colonialism? What are the tools of colonialism? Christianity is the most powerful tool. White supremacy, another powerful tool. Besides the musket and smallpox, those are the tools. That's how they stole everything. And that's our culture, and that's what they're trying to do today.
White people in the United States balk at the idea of paying reparations to black Americans who descended from slaves. They disagree with the Bible. To begin with, let's first define what reparations mean. Reparations are a form of compensation or restitution made to those who have suffered injustice, specifically in cases of racial inequality, discrimination, and slavery. The idea of paying reparations to black Americans is not a new one. It has been a topic of discussion for decades, if not centuries. However, it has gained renewed attention and support in recent years. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. also advocated for reparations in the form of economic advancement for black Americans. As a Christian, I believe that reparations are not only a matter of justice and equality, but also a reflection of God's character. In the Bible, we see numerous examples of God's concern for the oppressed, the marginalized, and the downtrodden. From the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt to Jesus' ministry among the poor and the outcast, we see a consistent theme of God's love for those who are on the margins of society. One of the key biblical principles that underlie the idea of reparations is the concept of restitution. In the book of Leviticus, we see God commanding the Israelites to make restitution to those whom they have wronged. Leviticus chapter 6 says that if anyone sins and commits a breach of faith against the Lord by deceiving his neighbor in a matter of deposit or security or through robbery, or if he has oppressed his neighbor or found something lost and lied about it, swearing falsely, he shall restore it in full and shall add a fifth to it and give it to him to whom it belongs. This passage emphasizes the importance of making restitution to those who have been wronged, and not just restoring what has been taken, but adding to it as a form of compensation. This principle of restitution can be applied to the issue of reparations to black Americans who have suffered centuries of enslavement, discrimination, and systemic oppression. Another biblical principle that supports the idea of reparations is the concept of Jubilee. In Leviticus chapter 25, God commands to the Israelites to observe a Jubilee. This was a radical idea of economic justice designed to prevent the accumulation of wealth and power in the hands of a few and to ensure that all members of society had equal access to resources and opportunities. The idea of Jubilee can be seen as a model for reparations in that it seeks to address the root causes of inequality and oppression rather than just treating the symptoms. By forgiving debts, freeing slaves, and returning property, Jubilee seeks to create a more just and equitable society, one in which everyone has the opportunity to flourish. As a Christian, I believe that paying reparations to black Americans is not only a matter of justice and equity, but also a reflection of God's character and values. Through the biblical principles of restitution and Jubilee, we see a model for how we can address the historical and systemic injustices that have plagued our society for far too long. While the issue of reparations is complex and contentious, I believe that as Christians, we have a responsibility to seek justice.
So, me and El Guapo have been going back and forth. It started off with a comment about, my post about somebody said 64% of black families are single parent households. And so he said, why aren't Asian families like that? And the argument is quite obvious. You can't compare a family who immigrated here. I don't care when they immigrated. I don't care if they're just came here, if they came here 3 generations ago. You can't compare that to the Black American experience. It's just not, it's more than apples and oranges. It's apples and elephants. It's not in even the same atmosphere. So it's a faulty argument to begin with. But it's the argument that people always are using because they want to show that it's, as El Guapo says then later, it's all about culture and how Black Americans have created a culture of not wanting to work, being victims, committing crimes, being violent. There are so many objectionable aspects to that theory because the vast majority of Black Americans persevere, overcome, and are successful, highly successful, gaining wealth. There are areas where Black Americans are not doing well, as are, by the way, poor Americans. It really comes down to class. But on top of that, to also be Black in America, you've got, double strikes against you. And that's where the systemic racism and the white supremacy culture come in. I know it's hard for white people to understand it. I get it. But all I'm asking people to do is open their mind to the possibility that our country is built on the belief that white people, white culture, whatever that is, the way white people do things is the right and only way to do things. And anything else is inferior. That's what we're talking about when we say white supremacy culture. Now, obviously, white supremacy is on a spectrum. So on one end, you have Nazis. You have all non-white Christians must die. Very extreme, we know who you are. But it's the more subtle aspects of white supremacy culture that has seeped into every single one of us. If you're a white person, you're watching this, you have it in you too. Some of it doesn't surface. Some of it, you can go through your whole life. You don't even realize that these are things that are going on in your mind. But many, many times we project those ideas onto others, and particularly onto non-whites, and particularly onto Black Americans. So that's what we're talking about here. It's not just culture. And if parts of culture have begun to look a way that makes you think that, well, why is there violence? That is in direct response to what has been happening over the past 160 years. So either way, as white people, it is our moral responsibility to acknowledge this and attempt to do something about it. And the only way we can really do anything about it is if we come together, which is why I'm here talking to you right now.
I didn't know people were deadass still racist. I grew up in the Northeast, and no one I've ever known has ever been like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the slideshow I posted the other day. Like, I've heard fucked up jokes or whatever, but the shit they were saying in the comments is like, you're a weirdo, bro. Saying I'm ruining my fucking bloodline? What are you talking about? And some of these people claim to be Christians. I was expecting people to come at me for saying FN, and the complete opposite happened. I didn't know people were deadass still racist.
You literally used the N-word in the post right before this one, so how are you surprised racists still exist? The call is coming from inside the house. And yes, using an abbreviation like this is still using the N-word because you know what that means. It's not a loophole. It is still racist. And so you really can't be mad that a bunch of racists found your post. They saw you as one of their kin, and so they joined in and said, hey, we can be racist together. Also, a bunch of people are saying that she saw the post and she was okay with it and she signed off on it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good for her. What does that matter? You cannot hand off slur passes to your partners, boyfriends, spouses, whatever, okay? They are still racist and you are a dumbass. And while I am not pro Dr. Umar, like, my man is funny, but, like, come on. You love making his points for him. Because seriously. Got a migraine, fell asleep, forgot to finish doing the video, but the general point is that y'all cannot be using racial slurs as a funny haha, it's just a joke, and then getting mad when actual racists, like violent racists, come on. Because not only are these little jokes the start to the alt-right pipeline, you are signaling to them that they are safe with you. And it makes sense they feel safe around you because they were you at some point making silly N-word jokes before they became violent racists. Like, it is the PewDie pipeline. That is what you're on. And you need to hop off it before you chug along straight to the end where you become
So this is all I got from this video. And for the fact that some of them still are very ignorant and saying that the people that were subject to slavery are dead. Now, the truth is that you all keep lying and keep, like, deceiving yourselves, right? Because the last people that even experienced something like that, I think in, where is that place again? I can't remember the name of that. When I remember, it's a black-owned town. Blacktown. Why am I forgetting the name of the? It's okay. The last people, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? They went to court and still court rejected and denied them their reparations. Because why? They are always like, if the descendant or the people that experienced the worst decision were still alive, we definitely would pay them. When they saw the people that experienced it, they ran away. Now, the truth is that some of us are really very ignorant. And when each time we talk about reparations, we are not talking about reparations only for slavery. So many things happen in between the slavery and all that. And for those that do not understand what reparation means to fix. And if you think that there is nothing to fix, then you are part of the problem we are facing, Black people are facing, right? Now, I am going to say this, and this is it. I see a lot of people in the comment section asking me, why am I always saying we, that my descendant, the person said, well, you are not African American, you are not a Black person. Why am I always saying we, that I shouldn't include myself? And I was like, am I not extension of my cousins? So what are you talking about? I have every right to talk about what is going on in Black community. And for those that think I do not have any rights to talk about it, that it's okay. And I am not going to argue with anybody anymore. Anyways, I really do not argue when it comes to that, but I keep saying it. Then back to the matter. There are a whole lot to fix when it comes to Black people. All the things they went through during slavery. All these are the things that there is need for them to be repaired, right? And if you all think that you cannot repair that, you all are not ready. One thing I know for sure is that reparation is something that it's overdue. It is something that you all by this time already should be thinking of how to fix that, because reparations were paid to the people that did not even experience slavery in American soil. People that experience Holocaust, they also pay them reparation. So what is the problem? Why it's holding why is it that the ones that experienced it firsthand and their extensions, because some of us, you all are the extension of your ancestors. So anything that they are supposed to get that you did not get should be given to them. It's just like where I come from, right? If my dad passed, right, and they shared their land, the one that was supposed to be given to my father was given to my siblings, my brothers, right? So that is how it's been done. I have never heard somewhere they said that because the person is no longer alive, there should be someone that should be given to. So reparation is something that needs to be paid. And sincerely speaking, as Kamala Harris is also getting into power, I hope that if she wins, I hope that she is also getting ready on how reparations will be paid, because there is need for that to be paid ASAP, right? Now let's continue with some of these people that come online and say some racist things and then think that they can get away with it. Now let me tell you something. Being married to a Black woman does not give you a pass to say some certain things. That you have Black friends, it's not a pass for you to say some certain things. Proximity to Blackness does not mean that you are supposed to disrespect Black people and say some certain things that you are not supposed to say. And I am going to say this. If you are married to a white man or something, or you are married to a Black woman or something, and for no reason you come online and use the N word, you are also part of the problem we are facing. And whoever that is married to you, that is someone that look like me, both of you are part of the problem that we are facing. You should not even have any pass. Even if you are given, you shouldn't come online to say it, because it's disgusting. Most of us don't use it even. So why would you want to use it? Because what pass did they give you? Who gave you the pass? You all can do better. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.